What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Homegrown Career Mode. This is episode number 7, and we start today's episode off with some player training for Cook, Jackson and Ethan Collins, also getting some training now ahead of James Ward-Prowse after we got to 78 overall. And also there is a scouting update start today's episode as well. 3 scouts based in Belgium, France and England, as you know, and this goes by pretty quickly, so if you want to see what players individually we pick for the academy, feel free to pause the video anytime. But I think we put 2 players into our academy, and as you'll see in today's episode, when you take a look at our youth score, we promote one of the players to the first team as we continue to put the youth players into the first team, check out their potentials and hope that one player has got some really good potential. And this is the guy promoted, Jeremy Martin, just 16 years old, 5'5", a left-footed left midfielder already with some really good technical stats. The physical certainly need work, no doubt about that, but I really struggle to find good physical players at the academy regardless, and I almost released this guy, Thomas Blondau, as I was going to promote him, but I realised he was 15, and therefore, of course, you can't promote him until he's 16 years old. But the academy's good regardless, some really good talents in here, including Jeremy Martin, who we just gave a contract to, and as you can see, he's got the potential to be special. Yes, the first potential special player in the series so far. Left mid, right mid, listed positions, just 16 years old, and as you'll see, 4-star skill moves as well. You gotta love it. And a 3-star, we've got a high medium work rate. I gotta say, absolutely delighted. And we've got some good players here already. Jamie Jackson, of course, Ethan Collins, the young centre back we got as well. Archie Cook, really good too, but Martin, certainly the best of the bunch. Potential to be special, first one of the series so far, absolutely buzzing for that. And again, with 4-star skills as well, I'm really excited for this guy. He could be a real good threat when cutting in from either side, either the right side to shoot on his preferred left foot, or maybe on the left-hand side, cutting in and rolling it through to a striker. Whatever role he does in this team, I'm sure he's going to be a great young talent for us, and I'm looking forward to playing him and developing his game here at St Mary's Stadium. But he wouldn't play any part in the first game of today's episode, as we travelled away from home to the Etihad Stadium to take on the league leaders Manchester City, and so far the strongest team in England. They lined up with a really interesting team though. It was a really strong one. Their front three was Sterling, Gabriel Jesus and Leroy Sané as well. But there were some young talents starting this game for Pep Guardiola's side, and they weren't at full strength heading into the game. And on the back of our 2-0 victory in the last game, in the last episode against Newcastle United, I was feeling pretty confident. For the first time in quite some time, I had genuine optimism and genuine belief we could pull off a big shock here at the Etihad Stadium, like we did at Anfield. However, the first chance fell just 5 minutes in, where Raheem Sterling was released down the right-hand side and whipped the ball to the far post, and Leroy Sané made it 1-0, and City took a very early lead just 7 minutes in. But for Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, he had a man-of-the-match display against the Magpies at St Mary's. Our right-back was superb in that game and instrumental in our first win at home this season. But this is a goal he won't want to see again, but unfortunately he will need to, because I included the replay. Sterling got in behind Luke Shaw. Shaw could not catch up, then the dink to the far post. Chamberlain was right there and should have cleared it, but mistimed his jump, failed to make connection with the ball with a header, and it fell to Sané at the back stick, and the German headed home to make it 1-0. So City in front, courtesy of Leroy Sané. However, 40 minutes in, we tried to respond, and as James Ward-Prowse played a lovely through ball into Danny Ings, he got behind Sandler, went through one-on-one and smashed it past Edison, and Danny Ings put us back on level terms, busted out the silencer LeBron James celebration, and made it 1-1 as the Saints got back on level terms and equalised so soon after conceding the first goal of the game. Lovely threaded ball by Ward-Prowse. Ings took it in his stride and kept his composure. What a strike past Edison, and the Brazilian had absolutely no chance for that one, as Ings got his second goal of the Premier League this season. City trying to get back in front though, 27 minutes in, McCarthy fisting away this corner towards Claudio Gomez, who played it back inside to Fernandinho, and as Fernandinho rolled it through to Leroy Sané, who was the danger man in this game, played it through to Gabriel Jesus, and the Brazilian shot was well saved by McCarthy and pushed away as Ward-Prowse eventually clear, and it was still 1-1, but in the first half it was quite a balanced game. You know, we were playing alright, but City were looking the stronger team, and as Gabriel Jesus played a nice 1-2 with Leroy Sané here down left-hand side, he was pulling all the strings, the German. Good across to the far post, was temporarily dealt with by Luke Shaw, but Morgan Schneiderlin took a heavy first touch, and Gabriel Jesus said, "Bonjour Morgan, I'll take that one, thank you very much," and put it past McCarthy into the back of the net, and City restored their lead right before half-time. So we were clinging on to the draw going into the break and the 1-1 scoreline, but Morgan Schneiderlin just couldn't control that ball, and sadly Jesus nicked in and made it 2-1. So City back in front. Based on the statistics, it was quite an even first half, but I felt really City were the stronger team and deserved their 1-goal lead. But in the second half, we knew we hadn't played too badly. And of course, at Anfield, we came back from a goal down to win it 2-1 in the second half. So I was still feeling there was going to be a lot of chances in the second half to get us back on level terms for a second time and find another equalising goal. And that chance fell just 4 minutes after the restart, and we took it as well. Ethan Collins, the young midfielder, who I'm a big fan of, playing a lovely through ball to Charlie Austin. Austin took it in his stride, went through, was caught up by the covering defender, but stopped on a dime, took it round him, and then with the right foot curled it past Edison. And for the second time in this game, we battled back from a goal down to get back on level terms. Great fighting spirit from the Saints, and this is looking like a new Southampton team. The way we started the season off really poorly, but on the back of that win against Newcastle and a really good display here at the Etihad Stadium, we were looking a lot stronger. And I felt heading into the second half, now we got back on level terms again, we could look for a winner like we did against Liverpool. Some great build-up play here. Sid James were proud to release Ethan Collins, and the young talent found Danny Ings going through one-on-one, but Edison made a fantastic save and turned it behind for a corner, and we were really feeling it at this stage. Still 2-2, going for the goal to put us in front for the first time in the game, but unfortunately City are a team full of flair players who can do the spectacular and do things out of the ordinary. And well, Leroy Sané in this game, we discussed in the first half, he was absolutely tearing us apart, and 64 minutes in scored a contender for goal of the season, let alone goal of the month. Runs to Pep Guardiola, says I love you more than Joachim Low, and puts the boys in the back of the net with a wonderful acrobatic effort and makes it 3-2. Good corner to the near post, Sané peels off his man, and look at this for the acrobatic effort. Oh yes, with the weaker right foot, smashes it home. That is audacious from Leroy Sané, absolutely spectacular. And I got to say, it's less than courageous defending from Luke Shaw on the post, to say the very least, but take nothing away from the strike. An absolutely wonderful goal, and Sané restored City's lead for the third straight time. And unfortunately, with 3 minutes to go, we sort of capitulated here at this point. I was chasing shadows, trying to win the ball back desperately, couldn't do so. City's passing was really good in the second half, and after Kevin De Bruyne's released one-on-one, we weren't going to catch up, and the Belgian off the bench dinged it over McCarthy, made it 4-2, and that wrapped the points up. So City 4, Southampton 2. They certainly deserved the win, but positives for Southampton, no doubt about it. Coming away to the champions, you know, the best team in England right now in the game. They're leading the league in the game right now. I didn't think we played too badly. We showed no fear and scored 2 goals away at the Etihad Stadium. Not a bad display at all, but of course it doesn't distract from the fact that we did lose the game and shipped 4 goals as well. And despite having back-to-back clean sheets against Newcastle and also Bournemouth away, that was like us back to our normal self on defence. You know, got totally torn apart in that game. But to be fair to City, the accuracy in their shots in that game, 10 shots in total and 9 of which hit the target. That's 90%. And I can do that maths because it's quite simple. But 90% shots of their shots fell on target. McCarthy was in for a busy afternoon, and it was really no surprise he had to pick the ball out of his net for 4 times in that game, because City had a great display and certainly deserved to win. But for the second and final game of today's episode, we will return back to St Mary's, back home, as Watford will come and take us on in a big battle between 2 sides right now just above the relegation zone in the Premier League table. And of course, the last time we were here at home, it was another relegation sort of mini 6-pointer at the start of the season. We took on Newcastle United, won the game by 2-0. So I was thinking it's another opportunity here in front of our home fans to get a big result, a big 3 points, and show we're too good to go down in this, our first season in charge on the South Coast. But the first chance fell to Watford just 6 minutes in as Gerard Deulofeu crossed the wing to the centre towards Troy Deeney. And I said it a couple of times earlier on this series, and I'll say it once again. To me, it seems like when the AI wants to score a goal on ultimate difficulty, there's nothing you can do to stop them. Because I don't know how I could have defended that goal even better, really. Watford had a freak inside their own half, and they worked the ball so quickly out wide towards Gerard Deulofeu. The Spaniard launched the ball into the centre, and Deeney just out-muscled his man, volleyed it home first time past McCarthy. It was just perfect. It was an absolutely perfect move, and nothing I could have done to stop it, as the Watford skipper gave them the lead. So 5 minutes in, we were already trailing, as it was 1-0 to visitors. Charlie Austin trying to get us back in the game. 17 minutes in, we know he's a threat from corners. 2 of his 3 goals have come from corners this season. That header going onto the roof of the net and behind for a goal kick. And just before the break, one final chance to get back on level terms before half-time. Austin played a great ball forward to Redmond down left-hand side, who flicked over his head to beat Navarro, crossed the ball in on a volley, and Danny Ings said to Leroy Sané, pick that one out, son, because my goal is better than yours. With an absolutely wonderful acrobatic effort, Ings put us back on level terms for his second goal in 2 games and made it 1-1 right before the break. And no surprise, the celebrations were absolutely wild. That has got to be the best goal I've scored in FIFA 19 by quite some distance. You thought the Oxlade Chamberlain screamer in the last episode was amazing. Pick this one out. What a piece of skill by Redmond. Lovely cross into the middle, and Danny Ings. Oh yes, the technique with the weaker left foot there. Absolutely wonderful acrobatic effort. Sané's goal was nice, but in my opinion, the Redmond assist for this goal is what made this one even better. Flicking it over his head, first time volley to the centre. centre in Danny Ings. That was absolutely beautiful. The man on loan from Liverpool with a wonderful strike, and Southampton back on level terms courtesy of a brilliant piece of improvisation by Danny Ings. So Southampton 1, Watford 1. I think that was the right scoreline heading to the break as well, in a pretty evenly contested first half. But in the second half, Watford were pushing for a goal to get back in front for the second time in the game. First, Gerard Deulofeu rippling a shot into the side netting just past the hour markers. It's still 1-1. And late on in the game, one final chance for Watford. Deulofeu, the danger man, causing problems down the right hand side, whipping across into the centre. And Alex McCarthy for the second time this season with an absolute howler. Gift Watford a late winning goal right at the death. And Okaka, if you remember, we had this guy in our Torino career mode way back in FIFA 15, breaks our hearts, makes it 2-1, and Watford are going to celebrate a big win in a big battle at the bottom of the table, courtesy of an absolute howler from Alex McCarthy. Deulofeu's crossed the centre, McCarthy under no pressure whatsoever. What on earth is he doing there? I've got absolutely no idea. Goes to try and fist it away. I mean, he could have caught it. There was no one putting him under pressure, and it's a good finish by Okaka from a tight angle on the left foot volley there, but either way, an absolute gift from Alex McCarthy, and Watford get the win. And that now is the second game this season where McCarthy has cost us a result. He cost us a win on the open day against Burnley, and now a point here against Watford. In total this season, McCarthy has cost us 3 points already. All I'm saying is this: we need a youth goalkeeper at the academy right now, because Alex McCarthy is too error prone. But it's a loss, it's a bad one, and that's why we end today's episode off in the relegation zone. And 12 games in, we're already starting to feel the pressure. But that will end today's episode though, guys, so thank you very much for watching. Hope you have enjoyed it. And if you did enjoy today's episode, then please drop a like. Much love, have a great day, and I'll see you for the next episode very soon.